Hi and welcome to Piano School Publishing online video tutorials. This is preparatory level, page 68 and 69, and the song is called The Grand Staff. The grand staff is when we join the bass staff or the bass clef and the treble clef or the treble staff together, and it forms what we call a grand staff. One of the unique things about piano is the amount of notes the piano is capable of playing. The piano has 88 keys, so most instruments are not capable of playing anywhere near that amount of notes. So most instruments are written just on one clef sign or staff sign. They may be written on the treble staff or the bass staff, and all of their notes can fit on one or either of those staffs without any problems. The piano is quite unique. There's not very many instruments. Say the organ is another one that comes to mind, but there's very few instruments have such an enormous range of notes. So in order to cope with that, they take the treble staff and the bass staff and join it together. So, and then it becomes a one staff, and it's called the grand staff, grand meaning big. So if we have a look over here, I'll show you an example of the grand staff. So if we have a look on page 68, there's an example of the grand staff. So if we look in the left hand here, or the bass staff, you can see the C, D, E, F and G that we've just learned in the bass staff, and then up here G, F, E, D, C that we've just learned, we've been using before in the treble staff. It shows us where our hands sit. That's for the right hand notes and for the left hand notes. Now there's another thing that's changed here, which is the point, play and say task box. So originally our songs all were for the right hand, and then we've just done a couple in the left hand. But this has got both right and left hand, because the songs that we're about to start contain both left hand and right hand at the same time. So before we put the songs hands together, we're going to learn the right hand with point, play, say, and we're going to learn the left hand with point, play, say. And when both of those things are completed, then we'll be able to start the together task, or hands together. And you'll see on the opposite page there, you'll see a new task box that we haven't seen, and that's called together task, meaning hands together at the same time. So this task box hasn't changed at all. It looks exactly the same, except it's just for both hands, and I'll explain more as we go through. In the together task, we've got some things to learn in there, so I'll go through those in a second as well. So the grand staff song, what we're going to do is first have a look at the right hand. So if you have a look at the right hand, which is just this line across here, because this is for the right hand, because it's the treble staff, you'll see there's a rest for 4 counts, another rest for 4 counts, and then G, F, E, D, C, D, C, rest. Now if we go down to the bass staff, you can see this is all for the left hand down here, and you can see it starts off going C, C, D, D, E, F, G, 2, rest 2, 3, 4, rest 2, 3, 4. So what I'm going to do is show you how we're going to play those two individually with point, play and say. So we'll start with the right hand. So I set my right hand up, bring the book over to the left hand side, I get ready to point. So even though there's rests in the first bar, I still point and count them out. So I say rest 2, 3, 4, rest 2, 3, 4, G, F, E, D, C, D, C, rest. Okay? Now we switch that across. The left hand gets set up with 5th finger on C, and we start down here. And it goes C, C, D, D, E, F, G, 2, rest 2, 3, 4, rest 2, 3, 4. So you must learn these songs hands separately. So don't come to your lesson and say, well, I've already got it together. Your teacher will still expect that is still going to want to hear them separately with point, play and say, because we need to know that you're reading the notes, and that's really what point, play and say is all about, making sure that you're reading the notes. Once you've completed that and you've got your ticks and your completed stamps over here and over here, that means you can then start hands together. Now, if you have a look at the task boxes in the together task, you'll see the first one is write in counting. So we've been writing in the counting a lot with our clapping, so now we're going to write it in for our songs. they've done the first one for you. So you can see it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it lines, the counting is written in the middle, and it lines up for both the treble and the bass. So you only write it in the middle just once. You don't write one up there and another one down there, just one in the middle. Below that, we've got CD backing, so you must be able to play the song hands together with CD backing. Counting out loud, so this is a new one. So when we're learning hands separately, we only do the point, play, say. So just like I showed you before. Once we start playing at hands together, we stop saying the note names and we count out loud. And again, you shouldn't really have too much of a problem with this because you've already been doing a lot of counting out loud with the clapping exercises that you've been doing in the book previously. And then hands and posture. So hands, position, and sitting up nice and straight. So I'm just going to show you how this, because we now read this along this way together. So I read both lines at the same time. All right, here we go. The great thing about the grand staff is there's no real point in this song where actually the two hands play together at the same time. So it's a good one just to get ready before we start properly hands together. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next step then would be to put that with the backing. So we'll turn the backing on here. So this is going to be track 15. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so just watch that temptation to fall back into point, play and say. So you've got to get used to the counting and you'll get used to that quite quickly. Okay, off you go and work hard.